victory. I don't think Francois Weiss is in the court anymore, Pingoy.
No, as a matter of fact, we were trying to check and go to the dugout, but they had closed doors. But we did see him come back during the about last 3 or 2 minutes in the second quarter, and he was heavily bandaged already. Melton, he's got very, very heavy responsibilities on his shoulders.
That's right, and he just committed a foul there. Only his second personal foul, however. He has to really play hard now, and his teammates must respond. Lazaro, Sanchez, these guys, and the guys like Frank Ilalim must come up with the points. Dorsey is really comfortable. 4 straight points for Jackie Dorsey.
Well, if you recall, the first quarter was won by Tanduay Rhum. They were on top by 7 points, 29-22. And then, with Weiss having an injured leg, Gilbey came back and shot 31 points, and Tanduay had 28 at the end of the second quarter. Gutierrez doing a reverse.
There was a collision there between Sanchez and General. No fouls were called, so the play continued with Gutierrez getting the 2 points. Dorsey shooting over Melton again, missing this time. Saldana sleeping tonight for those offensive rebounds.
Oh, yeah. Super move coming from Saldana. As a matter of fact, he skied, kicking from the right and then sailing towards the left. It is a 2-point game being enjoyed by Tanduay Rhum. Could be tied. Melton pulling down his 11th rebound, 8-3. Bilbao taking care of the point. Willie Generalao trying to press him. Here is the banger. Sanchez short.
There's a foul there by Saldana, reaching in, trying to get the ball.
Saldana.
It is the third personal foul called against Terry Saldana. On team fouls, only 1 right now for Gilbey Gin Tonics, and 2 called already against Tanduay Rhum. Melton.
There's a loose ball foul there on Sanchez, plus a technical foul called against Big Sanchez for uttering some words after the foul was called against him.
Close-up shot of the banger.
Jackie
Victor
Dorsey
Sanchez
will take the technical free throw, Pingoy, making it.
Jackie Dorsey standing 6'8", weighing 225 pounds. Do you believe that he likes what Joe does, singing, and like you, dancing, and like Bill, reading? How come nobody likes what I like, eating?
There's a loose ball foul there called against Jackie Dorsey. Only his first personal foul. Dorsey's been very offensive-minded tonight. He really wants to make up for the fact that against Toyota he was sitting throughout all the overtimes, and Massey was doing his thing.
These points from Gilbey Gin Tonics, all coming from Jackie Dorsey. Made 6 points. It's a 1-point game. If Massey scores, they'll be in the lead.
Yes. Massey taking it to the hoop. You were saying something, Bill? You
Yes,
were saying something?
this is the first time in a long time that the Gins took the lead, and like I said earlier, with Francois Weiss out of the game, this puts Gilbey at a definite advantage. Unless, again, Tanduay can come out with some spectacular plays.
Now, looking over downstairs, Tanduay Rhum's Fran Weiss enters the court. Watson scores.
But he seems to be limping a little bit.
Yes.
He's dragging his right foot there.
Yes, it will just be his heart that will play here, his skill. But I tell you, I doubt if he can run,
He is taped just below the knee. Lazaro looses the leather. Here comes Massey on a fast clip. Sidestepping, not getting the basket, takes a hard plunge. Oh, that's a floor burn.
Yes, and Mike Bilbao with a deliberate foul. Yes, let's take a look at that on our slow motion. Because Mike leaned down after Massey went for the layup. Mike went under him. That sent Massey splashing to the floor.
Next thing he knew, he was looking at the roof.
Mike also wanted to really protect himself from the rampaging Lou Massey. We have a timeout. We'll be right back. Sweet Lou the spotlight. Coming from Pineville, North Carolina.
graduated from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte.
Same place as Donnie Ray Coons. Massey, a second-round draft choice of the Los Angeles Lakers.
He's keeping an eye on Ray Lazaro. Watch this move of Ray. Lazaro good for 8 points now. Had 6 during the first half. Carrying 3 personal fouls. Here is Massey pumping once, going up. Lips out. Terry Saldana in the thick of the fight.
He's like a tiger there.
Yes, Terry is famous for his offensive rebounds. You know, a lot of coaches seem to forget about Terry when they send their big man up there in the slot, you know. But this guy has an uncanny way of squeezing his way in that shaded area, grabbing that offensive rebound and scoring, you know.
They say, you know, that one of the faults of a player in defense is forgetting to box out, you know. But when you're as tall as Terry, you know, and he's going up against a local, and he's lean, no? So it's really very difficult to box out, just like Buck Williams, no?
Yes, Terry jumps very high. I've seen them in practices sometimes. Terry can jump almost as high as Ramon Fernandez, and his timing, which is very important, is almost perfect.
Well, Bill, let me ask you an inside question, because you have many friends, not only players, but also coach officials. What was the philosophy behind Toyota's letting go of Terry Saldana?
Well, the philosophy there, Pingoy, was that Terry is a center, you see. And the Toyota team has too many centers. You have Ramon Fernandez, you have Abe King, who can also play center. You have Ricky Rellosa, Paul Herrera. And what the team needed in Toyota was backcourt men. That's why they traded off Terry Saldana. Otherwise, they would have kept him. You see, Terry is really a center, and he's very effective in the keyhole area. However, from the outside, he's not too effective.
He doesn't really have an outside shot. That's correct.
No.
Well, Terry Saldana is showing and demonstrating his effectivity. Not only does he have 8 points to his credit, but he has also pulled down 8 rebounds for Gilbey Gin Tonics. That's 5 and 3. Make it now 9, 6 and 3.
Yes, with the defensive rebound, that he jumped almost as high as Jackie Dorsey in that play.
And speaking of Jackie Dorsey, he now has scored his 31st point.
Good fast break play there. Melton may get this back off the glass. Yes, Dorsey going for the steal. Had to sacrifice something there.
Well, Tanduay is only down by 3 at this point. And if they can keep this up and crawl back, it will really be a game.
That's right, you know. It's not an easy picnic for the Gilbey Gin Tonics.
Now Tanduay is running. There's a 1-on-1 situation.
Oh, Bilbao missed it off the glass.
But don't forget that ever since Wise got hurt with 5 and 40 during the second quarter, the liability is now being carried by Tanduay Rhum.
Yes. You can see they're playing faster, they're moving better. Because they have to. You see, it's a case whereby they must take advantage of that advantage, which is mobility, as against the height on the other side.
You know, it's really a game of survival, and self-preservation can really get the adrenaline flowing.
Well, entering the third quarter, Gilbey Gin Tonics was down by 4 points. The half ended 57 for Tanduay Rhum, 53 for Gilbey Gin Tonics.
Yes.
Now we have the Minuteman responding.
Bella Rosa with his first 2 points, but he can really come in and kill you with his outside shots. He's a very good player, not really being given exposure because of the great play also of Mike Bilbao and Frank Ilalim, but when he does come in, he's always prepared.
Time is 6 and 19. It is a 1-point game being enjoyed by Tanduay Rhum. It could be changed by Massey, who gets fouled on the act of shooting by Mike Bilbao. That is the 3rd foul on Mike Bilbao, bringing Tanduay Rhum to the 7th team foul. They are in team foul trouble.
General is now being replaced by Joseph Herrera. Tanduay, after falling behind by 5 points, now they're back in the lead after a 6-0 blast. Massey can equalize and even give Gilbey the lead.
You know, Andy, I was surprised to see that Joseph Herrera is seeing action tonight, because last night he was under the weather. As a matter of fact, he was trying to fight a fever.
Well, he has to be called into action. The Gilbey Gin Tonics have a pretty good balanced lineup except for the guard line. You know, they only have 2 guards legitimate in the sense of as a playmaker. And Joseph Herrera is more as an off guard than a playmaker, actually.
Bounce to Dorsey. He sails past Mike Bilbao, who held his ground. 3-on-3 situation. Joseph Herrera covering Mike, going to Ray Lazaro, who spots. Yango, shot block from Massey, but there is body contact.
Foul called against Lou Massey. His second personal foul. 3-point lead for the Gilbey Gin Tonics.
We'll see if we can get him on camera range, but if not, here's our Did You Know portion. That Raymond Chuck Barrero of Tanduay Rhum is presently the coach of the Arellano University team in the ongoing Philippine Amateur Basketball League. So far, Chuck is doing very well in his first coaching stint. His team having won 2 games in 2 outings.
That's a powerhouse team. You know, the former coach of that was the Cholo Martin, who's now in Bahrain coaching. No? But there's another professional that's coaching. That's Freddy Gonzalez of the San Miguel team, coaching their Magnolia team in the amateur.
Don't look now, but Dorsey has 35 points to his credit, had 23 at the end of the first half. Here is Ray Lazaro. He's looking for space, crowded by Massey, loses control. Joseph will pick it up. He's going on second gear, being flanked by Yango, straight in.
Yes, and a foul from JB Yango. He has a chance for a 3-point play. Herrera using a left-handed layup. Lazaro is now being replaced by Saldi Latosa. There you can see the one-on-one play of Joseph Herrera against JB Yango.
I haven't seen Latosa in the court in a long time, Bill.
Yes, this comes also as a surprise, but I guess Tanduay is trying to conserve as much as they can of their energies, because it's going to tell in the fourth and last quarter, either in fouls or in plays.
Don't forget, join us in our selection, guess, and who knows, your guess may be right on line with our choice as to who will be our Magnolia Ice Cream best player of the game. Your guess might be it, and find out immediately after this game is over.
That was a lucky break there for Tanduay.
Yes. Let's see if they can capitalize on the return play. Melton getting an easy layup.
Latosa seeing to it that he can pass it over to the nearest man, the man nearer the basket. It is a 4-point game, still enjoyed by Gilbey Gin Tonic, 77-73. Tanduay Rhum in team foul trouble. Time is 4:23. We're in the third.
Coach Freddie Webb earlier on your screens, missed shot, but against Saldana with the loose ball recovery.
Last touch, Tanduay, so Gilbey's Gin Tonics will be keeping. And Terry Saldana has already 12 rebounds. As a matter of fact, he has out-rebounded the 2 imports that they have. Dorsey only has 10 and 4 for Massey.
Right-in play there by Watson. No fouls were called. He was looking for one. Tanduay again.
If they make this, they'll just be down by a basket. They go to JB Yango. De La Rosa snaps one.
Yes.
You know how quick Mike Bilbao passes that ball. You know, it barely touched his fingers, and he was already feeding off to the open man, using his peripheral vision to look for Bert De La Rosa. Oh, tight shot there by Lou Massey.
That was more a magical carpet.
Massey already has 18 points, scoring 10 in the first half of play. Coming on to life here in the third quarter. He knows he has the advantage and he's going to make use of that.
Well, one thing remarkable about Massey is that he's playing 5-on-5. He knows he's got the hot hand. He just wants to play defense because he's going to Jack Dorsey.
Tanduay will keep the ball on that tap out play. 10 seconds left on their shot clock.
On the game clock here in the third quarter, it is 3:17 to go. Tanduay Rhum in team foul trouble. They're down by 4. On the shoulder is De La Rosa.
Only 2 seconds left, 1 second left on the shot clock, and he made it again. 6 straight points for himself for Bert De La Rosa.
Resumption of play. Massey fouled Latosa as he was driving from the baseline.
That's the third personal foul now of Magic Massey.
Andy, Bill, I doubt very much, unless it's absolutely necessary, that Fran Wise, because of his pulled muscle, can return to the court.
Yes, he might not have the ability to even run at all.
But, they could put Fran in for decoy purposes. You never know. They can fool the bench by making them believe that the guy is very potent.
But he can come downstairs to defend.
Well, perhaps they'll use him in the dying seconds of the game.
Maybe one
and
play.
It could work, yes.
One offensive play.
Well, ever since he got sidelined because of that pulled muscle, Dorsey continues to go to town, 37 points. Melton has to do it.
Hitting the side of the board there. 4-point lead for the Gilbey's Gin Tonics. Saldana scrambling to get the loose ball. Goes to Mike Bilbao.
In spite of the fact that Fran Weiss has not seen action, Tanduay Rhum is not doing bad. They're just down by 4.
And they have an opportunity to cut it down further to 2. They are playing, they're running, and if Gilbey's doesn't really take advantage of the situation, they might be sorry.
That's very true. That really shows the famous cliche that basketball is still a team game, 5-man game, and our locals, how far they have improved already, Bill.
Definitely. You take the Toyota team. Right now they're playing with only one import at a time. And they have won some games. Of course, it's a tremendous disadvantage, but it's not at all impossible to win with just one American.
Especially if that American is Andy Fields.
Oh, yes.
That's a bad play there. They're trying to go for the fast break. Latosa was not expecting the pass. Mike Bilbao loves to hit Sanchez, Gutierrez, and Yango with those kinds, but maybe Latosa is a little bit cold from the bench.
Andy, for the sake of our PBA fans, just in case they just checked in on Channel 2, what is your big Shakey's one-on-one on Tuesday?
Well, it's going to be Abe King and Arnie Tuadles in the semifinals to be aired after the live telecast of the Great Taste Winston game, plus Joseph Herrera, Mendoza, after the halftime of the delayed telecast of Chris Park Gallery, Dominique.
On your screens, we have Watson hitting the deck, taking a plunge. It is a 2-point game. Gilbey's Gin Tonics must not take this game for granted, and Dorsey knows it.
Well, Dorsey is really scoring so well. 39 points now for Jackie Dorsey. There's going to be a warning this time called on the Gilbey's Gin for delaying the ball game.
On the matchup here amongst the locals, Terry Saldana is covering J.D. Yango.
There's a blocking foul by Mike Bilbao, and he threw the ball at the head of Watson. Automatic technical is going to be called against Mike. There's no question about that.
Technical foul, Bilbao.
Well, there was color going between the two of them, especially when Watson took a plunge, and Mike Bilbao is just about burning.
That's right. There we see Mike Bilbao on the screens. He's moving away from Steve Watson. Dorsey missing the technical foul shot, and Mike Bilbao is now being replaced by Frankie Lim.
It is a 4-point game, and now Melton and Watson are exchanging conversation.
Massey pulls them away. There's a little collar. Mike felt that Watson may be been defending a little bit too strongly against him and using some physical force there. A little bit rough in play.
Now let's go back to the business at hand, and that's playing good basketball among the professionals. Low posting is Melton, doesn't get the pass, and De La Rosa is fouled. It is called against Watson. That is his second personal, but his second personal brought Gilbey's Gin Tonics to the 17th foul with 27.5 seconds to go before the end of the third.
I think at this time, Pingoy Watson is beginning to lose his cool, and one little fake of De La Rosa, and up he went, fouled him.
Right now, Turing Valenzuela trying to cool him off, sensing Willie General for Steve Watson. So he and Joseph Herrera will be in the backcourt for the Gilbey's Gin Tonics.
Andy, Bill, if I recall right, ever since Steve Watson joined and became a pro, this is the first time, this is the first evening that he really lost his cool.
Yes, sometimes, Pingoy, when they're up there for those offensive rebounds, and you have 5 or 6 guys there muscling their way in, you can't help but get hit one way or other, unintentionally. And the guy that gets hurt, of course, feels that it was unfair, And so he tries to deliberately, when he lands on his back, he tries to, he loses his cool.
Well said, Bill. So at the end of 3 points. Back at courtside, we now enter the fourth and last quarter with Gilbey Gin Tonics on top, 87-84. Melton, air ball, and we have La Tosa keeping it alive for Tanduay Rhum.
Melton had to throw it up. There were only 2 seconds left in the shot clock. Because it was an air ball, it was not reset to 25 seconds. And he made it.
Incidentally, Kegroom's roasted calf is ideal for Christmas parties at your company. And definitely, you can bring it anywhere, at a compound or at home. Call 85-44-43 for your reservations.
Saldana got the 2 points on a give me pass by Willie Generalao. That's a 3-point lead for the Gilbey Gin Tonics. 11 minutes left here in regulation.
Our referees, don't forget, Messrs. Cruz, Bartolome, and De Los Reyes. It's a 3-point game. Melton wants to cut it down, and he is successfully doing just that.
29 points now for Big George Melton, and he's been providing a lot of rebounds for the team. Actually, 19, 20, 21, 16 rebounds.
Fran Weiss, that's the reason why the fans here in the Coliseum were applauding, because he was moving close to the check-in area. We have a turnover.
Yes, because there was a whistle that was blown behind us, and Jackie Dorsey stopped and looked at the referees, but there was no whistle blown by the referees.
Scoring by periods, Andy.
Good quarter there for the Gilbey Gin Tonics, making hay while the sun is shining. Big Francois Weiss is back in the ball game for JB Yango.
Now that prank should not pull that again.
That destroys the game, you know. Weiss muscling his way in, plus a foul from Lou Massey. That's his fourth.
And Captain Courageous is delivering, and one of these days it might become a fashion.
He's Hercules, now he's Captain Courageous. I wonder what he's going to be next.
Peg leg.
Francois Weiss, 14 points, make that 15. And we have...
you can see him. He's really lame. He can hardly run.
That gives Tanduay the lead, a 2-point lead for Tanduay. And he gets on the
He even get a rebound.
but he's now lagging in the backcourt.
That's okay as long as he's present. Here is Melton keeping an eye on Weiss. He's in position. He'll jump.
Yes.
Got it.
George Melton scoring 6 points here in the fourth quarter.
What a tremendous performance from Melton. It forced him to really show the stuff he's got, and he is certainly showing it tonight. Sweet Lou.
When the going gets tough, they go to Sweet Lou.
The tough really gets going, and I tell you, Lou is tough.
Well, here as we enter the fourth quarter, only 2 players from Gilbey Gin Tonics have scored so far. Terry Saldana and Sweet Lou a little while back. Outlet pass from Generalao. Joseph without looking, giving it to Massey.
Massey, 4 straight points, and we have another tight ball game at 93 all.
Would you believe it, Bill, Andy, that this is the very, very first deadlock?
Wow. So we can look forward to a real tight finish here.
That's like you were predicting at the start of the ball game.
There you go, La Tosa.
Oh.
His first attempt was it, and he scored.
This is now the 4th point for Rudy La Tosa. Made a basket during the 3rd quarter. Has 1 offensive rebound. And Dorsey wanted that basket. He was fouled on the act of shooting by Melton. That is the 3rd personal foul called against George. And as we watch Dorsey take it from the line, watch out for the Crosby Inside Basketball portion after this game. Andy Howe's topic tonight is team standing possibilities.
That's right. And by the way, Pingoy, this year's Most Valuable Player Awards night presentation will be held this December during the finals game, one of either the 3rd or 4th or the 5th at the Big Dome, and will be brought to you by the Go-Go Grosby Rubber Shoes.
And I'm sure the winners will definitely have a Merry Christmas.
That's true. Fernandez, the last year's winner of the MVP. Saldana, the Rookie of the Year last year.
Melton going to Frankie Lim with 7 on the shot clock. He was fouled as he received the pass. Guilty party was Generalao. It is now the 3rd personal foul called against Willie.
27 points for the 2 imports of the Gilbey Gin Tonics during the 3rd quarter. They had a total of 34. They really went to work there, and they got a lead, but right now it's a 95 all count.
Big man of the boards, Terry Saldana, pulling down a total of 14 so far, 9 and 5. He's got 3 personal fouls on him. Time is 8 and 10 seconds to go. This is now the third deadlock. And double checking the figures of Larry Shan, the first deadlock was at 57, the second was 93, and now 95 all. Dorsey wants to break it.
The little fellow there, Willie Generalao, pulling an offensive rebound and giving off a pass to Dorsey.
They go to the Minuteman. Willie really keeping an eye on him. La Tosa takes it from the shoulder. Generalao.
Oh, what a shot there by Willie.
Beautiful maneuver.
Couple of magicians here from Gilbey Gin Tonics. The Matt and Jeff team.
Yeah, the Matt and Jeff combination. Willie Generalao, when he sets his mind to a game, is really something else also. There's going to be a push from behind there, but no calls were made. And again, Gilbey goes to a fast break play. Generalao this time missing the layup.
Quickly to Wise. You know he can't move because of his injured right leg. Heavily taped below the knee.
Wants to
Massey
maneuver.
taking him. Cut inside and a score coming from Frankie Lim.
That was poor defensive play there by Saldana, because he could see Frankie already cutting into the 3-second area. Automatically he should have covered that guy. The pass would have been given and it was made. You know.
Time is down to 6 and 43. It's a 2-point game being enjoyed by Gilbey Gin Tonics. Freddie Webb forced to dispatch the talents of Fran Wise in spite of the fact that he's injured.
25-second violation, catching up with the Gilbey Gin Tonics in that play, Pingoy.
Good tight defense being applied by Tanduay Rhum. We have a timeout. We'll be right back. It's a 2-point game being enjoyed by Gilbey Gin Tonics. The biggest lead was 6 points, 77-71, while Tanduay Rhum had a 12-point lead with the score standing 47-35. Here is Wise being sandwiched by Joseph Herrera and Massey. Foul on Joseph.
Foul Herrera.
You know, the reason why they're trying to make Wise maneuver against Lou Massey is Massey has 4 fouls. If he gets his 5th foul, he's really going to be in trouble. Joseph Herrera picking his 4th foul and a 13th foul called against the Gilbey Gin Tonics. Turing Valenzuela called that timeout even though they're ahead and they have the advantage with Wise being handicapped, but he felt that his team was not really taking advantage. They were not running, you know, and they should really run because Wise cannot run against them. You know.
De La Rosa snapping another one.
9 points now for Bert De La Rosa, who only saw action in the second half.
As I see the role of Wise here, he is really playing the role of a decoy. You know? You notice that every time he gets the ball, he's double teamed, and that leaves one other guy free to take the shot.
That's a perfect analysis of Bill. And he tries to continue to dribble so he can make sure that he can pass off to the guy who is free.
Correct.
And yet you can't really leave him alone.
No,
and,
no.
You have to keep on sandwiching him because he's got a good hand.
Definitely.
Melton.
And the guy that kept that ball alive was Saldi Latosa. You know, he kept it alive. He could not get the rebound, so he tapped it out and it fell into the hands of George Melton.
Well, Melton now has scored 33 points, pulling down 18 rebounds, 14 and 4, playing with 3 personal fouls. Here's Massey. Latosa fawning him. Joseph is open. He gets away from Lim, bounce passing it to Massey. It is a foul called against
De La Rosa.
De La Rosa. That is the second foul on Robert.
So 2 free throws for Big Lou Massey, who couldn't get the shot to fall for himself. 101 all, 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Your guess is as good as ours. Who's going to win this match?
101 all. This is now the 5th deadlock. By the way, don't fail to watch the heart-stopping crucial match between Toyota Super Corollas and San Miguel Beer in our delayed telecast following right after this match.
I think we won't give them any more clues. Enough has been said, but it's really a great ball game.
Definitely.
Massey is playing with 4 personal fouls together with Joseph Herrera, Henry Lau, and Terry Saldana. They've got 3 apiece. Dorsey's okay, he only has 1. Time down to 4:45. Melton.
Oh, shooting over the outstretched arms of Dorsey. Dorsey played good defense there all the way. He was just a little bit late to intimidate the shot.
You know, Melton can hold on to his own.
That's right, definitely proving himself in this ball game. Good fake there by Dorsey. There's a foul called on George Melton.
That was smart on the part of Melton, because Dorsey was able to sneak past through.
Let's see this play on our slow motion. Dorsey faking to the left, going to the right. There's the good block by Melton. I don't know if he got into body contact. We couldn't see it from this angle, Pingoy.
May have caught him in the body, but Melton, the point is, he didn't stop because of that attempt of Dorsey had a chance to go.
That's right. Dorsey making the 2 free throws. It's a 2-point lead for the Gilbey's Gin Tonics.
Frankie Lim and Melton, they're carrying 4 personal fouls apiece. Wise has 1, he's limping. De La Rosa has 2. Watch him move. Using his strength, power, just hit the bracket.
But his timing there was a little bit off.
Continues to hustle.
Yes, tapping the ball out. Freddie Webb there, getting the bad breaks of this ball game.
You can see Fran Wise here. It's really all heart that's playing now.
Remarkable athlete. Dorsey and Latosa helping Melton and checking him from behind, but there is fun, and that brings him to his 5th personal foul.
It's going to be 2 liabilities right there. There's Dorsey working one-on-one on Melton. There was the foul called against George Melton. We have a timeout by the Gilbey's Gin Tonics.
Low posting is Wise. There's a cut, give and go. Frankie Lim going to the other side. Here is Melton. He will take it.
He got Saldana up and down there.
Melton not doing bad. He's got 37 points and 18 rebounds, but he's got 5 personal fouls. Time 3:20 to go.
We want to give the ball to Dorsey for him to work one-on-one on Melton. Maybe get Melton out of this ball game.
Terry Saldana. Henry Lau is open.
Only a couple of seconds left on their shot clock. Masi has to throw it up. And it's going to be a 25-second violation on their team.
You know, Andy, I was also always under the impression that while the 25th second horns and then that attempt hits a part of the ring, somehow it's still not alive.
It has to go in. If it doesn't go in when if it's in flight on the 25th second, it must go in. If it doesn't go in, it's going to be an automatic violation.
All or nothing. And we have a turnover. Here is Massey, who wants to capitalize on it. Henry Lau. Joseph from 21.
Oh, a foot back, it would have been a 3-point shot.
Joseph now has 9 points to his credit, at only 2 points during the first half. Tanduay needs a basket very quickly. 2:22 to go. They're down by 4 points. Massey leaning on Wise. He's even turning. He's crowded. Up he goes. Short. He really can't sky.
Yes, he can't jump. But there's a good follow-up there by Saldi Latosa, who has 6 points right now.
Latosa a basket in the third. 2 hits here in the fourth. It's a 2-point game.
Wise is really cringing in pain. Huh?
Yes,
Last
I think Freddie should pull
minutes.
him out.
Last 2 minutes.
I think it's cruel to keep him in the game.
Weiss is grimacing in pain.
I think the referee should call an injury timeout here for there.
Well, Freddie Webb had to point to the referees.
30 seconds injury timeout, Tanduay Rhum maker.
There's no way that Weiss can continue to play, it seems. You can see him really limping and he's in pain.
Why?
We have Lazaro coming into the ball game for Francois Weiss, who gets an applause from everybody here.
Definitely, Captain Courageous. And Fran Weiss aggravated his injury because he wanted to really score for Tanduay Rhum, and he was pivoting, making a turn, taking Massey along with him.
That's right. You have to put a period there after everything else, you know.
And he's relieved by Freddie Webb. We now have Lazaro taking his place. De La Rosa.
Oh,
And Ralao could be back to Massey. And
yes,
Massey
it's going to be
scores.
yes. But referee De Los Reyes says that the foul was committed before Massey could take up himself into the air, so it's going to be a side court try. Let's take a look at that play. There you can see the pass to Massey. Lazaro pushing off. Yes, Massey didn't, he was pushed before he could even go for the attempt at the basket.
Time is 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Dorsey shot block.
And whose foul is that on?
Would be Melton.
Foul, Melton.
Yes,
That's it.
that's it for George Melton. 6 fouls. Only 1 minute and 13 seconds left, and Melton finally fouls out of this ball game. Weiss will be unable to continue to play anymore, I think.
Well, that is his physical situation, but Weiss is beginning to stand up. As a matter of fact, he's telling Freddie Webb, let me give it a try, let me give it a try. Big heart, and Freddie Webb will have to push that button, maybe asking for a timeout. We don't hear the horn yet. Time is 1 minute and 13 to go.
There
It's
it
a
is.
2-point game. It's Gilbey. There goes the horn. We have a timeout. We'll be right back.
Some of the fans of the Tanduay Ram makers, the wives of the coaches, Julie Pagaspas Webb there on the screens, the girl in white. 2-point lead for the Gilbey's Gin Tonics. 2 free throws for Jackie Dorsey. 48 points right now. That's a 3-point lead for them. Weiss was sent back into the ball game. Freddie Webb had to call that timeout to give him 1.5 minutes more rest. See how he can do, you know.
Tanduay Rhum certainly has a big fighting heart, and you could see the frustrations of Turing Valenzuela because you've got an injured Fran Weiss, and that happened with 5:40 in the second quarter. Now that Melton is out because of 6 personal fouls, they really could not blow the game wide open.
That's right. That's a foul by Willie Henry Ralao. 14 foul called against Gilbey's. They still have 3 to give. Good cutting play there by Frank Ilalim, and a very sorry miss for him there. It was a reverse layup there.
Time left, 50 seconds to go. Gilbey Gin Tonics on top by 4 points. Weiss on Dorsey, pressing on him. Here is Mass in the other side. It's Lazaro.
Yes.
He backed off on Massey after the shot.
That could be the clincher for the Gilbey's Gin Tonics. They're up by 6 right now, and he has a chance for a 3-point play. That's Lou Massey.
We have 36.1.
Why?
When Melton was disqualified, he contributed 37 points to his credit and pulled down a total of 19 rebounds. Latosa in now for Fran Weiss, who went straight to the dugout limping. And Fran Weiss performed with 15 points and 9 rebounds, 8 and 1.
3-point shot there by Ray Lazaro. Desperation shot, actually. And only 25 seconds left in this ball game. A 7-point lead for the Gilbey's Gin Tonic, picking up their 6th victory against 7 defeats. Tanduay now going 5-8. Must win that ball game against Toyota to hope for a chance for a tie and a playoff. Whether Toyota won or lost the game.